Welcome everybody here to today's webinar. Thank you for taking the time. Machine connectivity and real-time OEE analytics, how Sennheiser boosts manufacturing efficiency. Actually, I'm really glad about this webinar. Started here a series of webinars about 3 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And it's actually the first time we can speak here about a customer project and mention the customer name. So we have spoken about projects in the past, but it's the first time here we have a reference we can speak about, and the customer project here, which will be at the center of what we're talking today. So what is the plan here? I will start with a really short introduction and overview about machine connectivity and the softing product, which is used here to connect machines. I will keep it relatively short, and then I will hand over to Andre here from our partner Bitmotec, who will spend the larger part in this webinar to share some detail about the application and also about business aspects ROI. Okay, so let's begin. I assume that all of you or most of you know Soft Industrial, so I didn't bring an extra slide to introduce the company. German company, about 400 people in total, headquartered near Munich, and we work here for Soft Industrial, one of 3 subsidiaries of Softing AG. Okay, looking at shop floor connectivity, let me just summarize here a few basic insights or observations looking at the market today. Headline is saying market trends. On the other hand, some things don't really change. What we have seen now since a decade or longer, brownfield continues to dominate the market. So when we look at all the machines that need to be connected, all the machines where Softing has a role to play, providing connectivity, making data available for basic applications or more sophisticated applications. Usually it's brownfield, and this comes with the usual challenges and complexities. So the machines, the devices have proprietary interfaces, which IT usually can't handle. Data provided is unstructured, and there's no semantic information. So you have a variable I7 and the values is 93, but the machine interface doesn't share the information. This is the temperature in degrees Celsius. That's the semantic information. So this is something which has been the same since many years and which we still face today. A certain change we can observe regarding infrastructure and operating concepts. So we have an increasing number of customers who are looking at, let's say, more innovative technologies here. So one buzzword or one trend can be summarized as virtualization, where customers look at maybe virtual machines or a Docker container or a combination of both. And some customers even started to look at, let's say, operating concepts where the development cycle, the deployment cycle is being integrated, where configuration can be handled automatically. Again, here, 2 terms which summarize these trends. Maybe some of you heard about it. Again, rather coming from the IT side here, DevOps or configuration management combined with configuration management in Git, so-called GitOps procedures. This is relatively new. The majority of our companies don't work like this, just to be clear, but we have a trend in this direction, and some innovative concepts we will hear about later also today here in the case of Sennheiser. Another aspect, the architectures for IoT converge. I think also because they are complex and it doesn't really make sense to sort out all those questions from scratch in each project. So customers want to use templates, best practices, how to ensure things are scalable, how to secure things are secure, of course, a very relevant aspect. And then some aspects here are common. OPC-UA is a de facto standard for OT devices, the interface to IT, so OPC-UA clients integrated in applications. In more complex solution scenarios, increasingly customers use an MQTT broker deployed on edge level, or you could say on-prem. And again, a trend, again, that's not the majority of our projects today, but some customers have started to look at so-called industrial data spaces. Maybe some of you heard the term UNS, Unified Namespace, so-called design pattern, how to build these and make sure that application development has a simple way to integrate data. And in this context, it's important to sort out the semantic questions here, to add semantic information, maybe with information models close to the data source. So this is just a super short summary, topics that deserve, if in doubt, a separate webinar. I just wanted to mention it to summarize the trends. What remains the same is that in many cases, the ROI still is not clear at the beginning. Yeah, so many customers are interested in having a way to start a project with limited invest, start small, and then depending on insights gained in the first month or maybe in the first year, they are looking for a flexible solution that allows the customer to expand, to grow, to modify, or maybe shut down an application if it turns out that it doesn't really deliver the results maybe the customer has been hoping for. So this start small and grow as you learn more is, so to say, a good characterization of many projects we see, and something we come back to also here during today's presentation. Okay, briefly, something for those who maybe haven't heard here the product names or the program brands, so everything which connects controller and machines on shop floor level, we summarize it under DataFeed. The DataFeed program brand, we can connect practically all kind of machines here. You see some logos. This list is far from complete. And we make data available, be it a basic application on shop floor level, be it a much more complex environment, maybe even cloud-based. So this is what we do. We have features here now added more recently to work with information models, to map data into information models, to provide a foundation for industrial data spaces. And we deliver products, we continue to deliver products in different variants depending on infrastructure and operating concepts. So there's a Windows application, there are Linux Docker container, and there are hardware products, appliances. You see a picture at the upper right-hand side. The product which is used in the project we speak today is our so-called Edge connector. Just some very basic facts here, some aspects. So it's a product which can connect Siemens SINUMERIK CNC machines, both solution line and power line. You can connect up to 20 machines per connector instance, per running software component. We don't access only the PLC part, that's the easy aspect. We also can extract data from the NC part and more. Northbound communication, OPC, UA, MQTT, this is probably what everybody expects. Graphical user interface, you see a small part at the right-hand side, but also REST API and recently added feature offline configuration based on files for those who look for automated procedures, maybe remote management and configuration. Yeah, disk space, you see the numbers here, 2 GB RAM memory, and licensing. For licensing, you need a software license server, and the price scales with the number of machines connected. So that's here the schema here. 1 machine cheap, 10 machines a bit more, 150 machines clearly more. Okay, I think that's it already here. My quick part. Our product is used in a standard way. That's why we decided not to go here into any detail. For those of you who are interested in more technical detail about our products, how-to guides, here comes a slide with a summary or some links to more information, which you can, of course, then check afterwards, or you contact us, and we, of course, will be glad to explain the technical aspects, how to configure our products in greater detail. For today, as promised, I'd like to keep it short. And with this, I hand over to you, Andre, your turn, so that you can speak here about the super exciting project we did together with Sennheiser.
Thank you, Christopher, and welcome everybody from my side. So I will start with my screen sharing and with some slides about the machine connectivity and real-time OEE analytic at Sennheiser. And my name is André Heinke. I'm the head of marketing and technical sales at Bitmotec. And in the next minutes, we will go on with the initial situation, how we built that in, the actual situation as the results, and go on with an easy way to calculate the return of investment of such a project. And we will end with a demonstration of the system. So let's go into some details of Sennheiser Electronic SE and what is the initial situation. We have at Sennheiser, the most point is that we have inconsistent machinery park and machine connectivity. So we have different machines, different PLCs, but we need to digitalize them. And this is why we want to start with the project, or Sennheiser want to start with the project. The situation is so that they mainly manual perform or mainly manual get the performance data and analyze them manual. And the teams want to reduce these expenses and to focus more on the optimization of the analysis. And how do we go on with the project? We have a joint path for this solution. So we make a structure project. We start with a requirement analysis, workshop, classical, and design of connections. So we have a deeper look in the machines, which PLCs, which versions of software and hardware is there, which kinds of machines, which manufacturers do we have, and we design the connections. So which connectors can we use to connect the raw data from the machines, from the shop floor. And after this, we start with the connections in stages. First, we start with 5 systems. Right now, we are up to 18 machines right now at the moment. And the software integration is done by Bitmotec in this project, and the hardware integration is done by the customer, by Sennheiser. But there are different ways in such a project. Everything is possible. The customer can do everything by itself. So it's very manual, very modular, the system, and very easy to use. So everything is possible. To Sennheiser at itself, it is a German manufacturer of audio, studio, and transmission technology. Maybe you already know Sennheiser, and it is located near Hanover in the Wedemark. And I think there are the necessary information about Sennheiser right now. And what is the solution right now, which is in use? I already said we have 18 systems connected. We're starting in February 2025. And right now we have 8 machines via the Softing data feed edge connector. We have 6 machines connected about the data feed edge connector and the Netlink S7. We have 2 machines connected via REST API, and we have 2 robots integrated via MQTT. So we see here different connections, different needs to connect the systems. And so on, we have the software solution from Softing and from Bitmotec for the OEE. And the focus from Sennheiser is availability, to increase the availability of the machines. They want to know details of the reasons of the downtimes, and they want to see the performance forecast for the day, for the week. Depends on the plant situation and the production, and they want to see the quality factor of the products. What is the result and the outlook right now? The result, they have the centralized automated OEE reporting. They are right now up to they increase the availability about 3 to 4% right now. We will see how this give you the savings in the return of investment part in the next minutes. And they current work on further dashboards. So they build up more dashboards right now. They make the ERP connections right now. And they want to expand the system not only for the overall equipment efficiency, so the OEE, they also want a tool monitoring at the next step. That are the next points. So let's have a look a little bit into the solution. As I said, we built up the connection mostly with the Softing connection connector. So we connect the PLCs with the edge connector that is running on a virtual machine at Sennheiser on premise. Maybe it can also run in a data center. That depends on the customer needs. It doesn't make a change. And we have our solution, the Bitmotec system, also running as a virtual machine at the customer on premise. So every data are at the customer. We don't have a cloud service here for the solution. Everything is running at the company. And in this solution, we collect the raw data, we transfer the data into a structured data base, and we visualize the data on different views for different stakeholders. So, for example, a machine overview to see which machines are currently running or not running, which is what is about the availability of the machine right now from the day or from the week. And so you have a quick overview as a production manager, for example. Or the single machine view, where you can get details about the machines and how their status are changed in the history, and which kinds of downtimes, for example, you have in the history. Or analyzing view of the downtimes, where you can see the different downtimes types and how long they least in sum. So as a summary, and you can analyze different kinds of parts of where the downtimes came from, at which time, from which machine, at which product, and so on. But I will show you this a little bit more in detail in the demonstration later on. So what is the system behind? That is the Bitmotec system. That is our data platform. It came typically as a virtual machine to the customer. It can connect to nearly everything in the company. So starting with sensors, PLCs on the shop floor, or different types of software systems which are running at the company, for example, enterprise resource planning systems or warehouse management systems. Everything you have, we can connect via different connectors. We have multiple connector solutions on the system, and with our partnership with Softing, we have multiple connections to different and mostly or mainly PLCs. The system by itself came on a modular way, so we have different modules on it to save the data, to get the data, to make the data transition, and to make the visualization for the data. And everything can be built up in an easy way, because it's like a block building system. So everything is in a low-code base. You don't need to programming anything, and you can bring some own modules on the system that is also free to use, and that can be everything in every language. It can be an AI analysis, it can be an own visualization, it can be special connectors we don't have on the system. Everything is possible. And everything can be scaled when you want. So you can start on an easy way for a pilot with 5 machines. And if you decide 2 weeks later we want to go on and we want to build up and we want to we want to change it and want to make the database on one virtual machine and the visualization on another virtual machine, that is possible in less than 1 day. There's no known big time that it needs to change the configuration of the system. So the system can run on more than one virtual machine for different type of works. Features, I already said, we have also a software development kit on it for the module expansion, and it came as a virtual machine, and you can use the system for how many users you want. You can build up how many visualizations you want. You can connect how many machines you want. Everything is free. And our customer value proposition is that we can create the IT-OT convergence in complex production environments. We can connect every machine, every system, what you have on the shop floor or in the company. And it don't need to be a machine. It can also be other systems like printer or so on. So everything is possible, everything can be connected, everything can bring you the data from the production and give you in detail insights of the OEE or other use cases. Now I want to go into the return of investment analysis, and I will change to an Excel document where we can easily make some changes in the document, and you can see how the return of investment changes for a typical project. So here you see a view on the first 12 months of a typical project. So we have the analyze already done, and we know how we want to connect the machines. We start with the connection, with initialization of the software, the hardware, and so on. It depends on the machine park at the customer, how the costs are in detail. But to get an first overview, we have the analyze part, we have the license for the Bitmotec ecosystem, we have the license for the BDE MDE module, we have the softing license parts, we have some, I will say we know that that it's possible that some machine manufacturers want to have some money for interface activation. But for example, in the project at Sennheiser, we only have 2 machines where this is a point of the project for only 1,000 euro each machine. So we don't have 20,000 euros on the project at Sennheiser. We only have 2,000 euros. But to have a good overview of a typical machine park, I bring this here in, and we have the machine connection. So we build up the machine connection for you so that everything is running 100% after the project is done. Then we start with a ramp up part where we get the first data, analyze it, and see how we can optimize the production. And the first savings from the optimization start typically at the 4th month of the project, and they increase. They don't start with the whole savings. So the savings increase from month to month. We get more savings because we make more optimization of the production. And how the savings are calculated, I will show you on the next tabs. Here you see the break-even point. Right now in this configuration, we are at the 8 months of the project, and we have savings altogether for the first year at 150,000 euros in this configuration. So what are the inputs? We have 20 machines. I configure some lasers, some bed milling machines, some milling machines, and some robots. We can integrate how many shifts are in the company. We can then integrate how the number of the machines are, what is the planned production time per shift, what is the working weeks per month, what is the machine running time, also days per month at 100% availability. What is the average calculated machine hourly rate? Because on this point, we calculate the return of investment. I will explain it to you on the next tab. And we can integrate the average machine availability, which is estimated right now from your side in your company, where you said, okay, right now we are at 70% or 80% of availability. And on this point, we can calculate how much the savings are every month for the machines if we, for example, increase the availability at 4-5%. So what does it mean? What do we calculate here right now? We think that if we increase the availability, you need less time to produce the same number of products in your company. And that is the part where we said, okay, so you have savings because you don't need to run the machines 8 hours. You can only run the machines 7 hours and have the same number of products. And the 1 hour we need a little bit less. We can say, okay, there are the savings at the machine calculated machine hourly rate. And this is calculated right here. So there are many more possible savings, not only on the availability and the overall equipment efficiency. You can have also more products in the new time you get from the machines. But this depends on your products, on your product plan. So it is very difficult to calculate these savings before the project is started. This can be better calculated in the pilot phase and the ramp-up phase, where we can where we have the first informations and data points. And with this, we have a calculation of savings on a monthly base. When we have on all machines 5% of increasing the availability. And this is what we see in the 11th and 12th months, typically, where we have this increasing. 5% are at every project possible. In the most projects, we can do more than 5% of optimization. But it depends on the production you have and the machinery you have and where are you right now from the availability. And if we start to change something, for example, we have the return of investment at the breaking point at the 8 months, and we have a savings about 150,000 euros. If we change to, for example, to 3 shifts for the machines, so we run 24/7 on the machines, then we have the break even at the 7th month, and we have already savings around about 260,000 euros in the first year. And after it goes on with the savings you have and all the other savings you have on the other points. So it is an easy way before you start such a project to go in a meeting with us together with Softing and to get an overview, to calculate an overview how the return of investment can be look like for your company for such a project. And then we can go a little bit more in detail for your company and your situation. But on this point, I think it's enough. I will go on with the slides and we'll come to the demonstration. So right now we are go on a web system. The system is available from every browser, from every system you already have in the company. You don't need to buy new screens or something like this. You can open it on tablets, on nearly every system. I will log in the system, and we go and directly in the front view for the stakeholder, so in the visualization parts. Here you see the machine overview. I already show you as a picture, but right now we are in the system, and what I want to show you is the system is very modular. You can change nearly everything what you want. So everything is can be changed, can be like a block building system. So you have different types of visualizations. You can easily use another type of visualization if you want and change it. For example, we can go to another part or time of a visualization. And so you have the possibility to customize every dashboard, every visualization you get from us. You get the templates, we connect everything, but you can change it on an easy way for your needs, what you need for your company. We can go to a single machine view, the same possibilities. You see the different data. You can change the view from the time. So you can also set, okay, I want to see only the last 24 hours, or I want to see the last 30 days. Everything is easily possible. You can change the machine, go to another machine, see the data from another machine, and can get insights from the machine view. And if we go to an analyze part, we can, for example, if you are working at if you're working for analyzers for the downtimes, you can go to an analyze view. You can change which machines you want to analyze, for example, some presses. I will change it, and you can work very dynamic in the system. So you can also go into the system, change the time only by use your mouse in some parts of the visualization. You can also set, okay, I only want to see some of the downtime types. You can see where the downtimes came from the machines, but you can analyze nearly everything and find out where you can optimize your machines because of which downtimes are your machines staying and not produce any products. And this is a small demonstration. We can do a bigger and a more detailed demonstration because we have much more views possible for every kind of analyze, and so everything can build up for your especially needs. So I will go back to the slides. This is how I say, it's a small demonstration. It's a small view on a return of investment calculation, but we can do more detailed demonstration and return of investment calculation for your special needs in additional meetings. So yeah, at this point, I will thank you for your attention. Thank you very much. And we will go to the Q&A, and I will give everything to Ramin to make the Q&A.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Andre. It was really interesting. Also, thank you, Christopher. Okay, so I got the first question goes out to Christopher. It's from Patrick von Eybergen. Can you give us a quick comparison between the hardware product and the software version of the data feed options?
Just super briefly, regarding software, we have to distinguish between the Windows application, the OPC suite, which we sometimes call the all-in-one suite. So really all features we have basically are available in the Windows application. We have Edge Connect, a containerized version, which regarding connectivity, which machines can be connected or which PLCs, what are the interfaces towards IT are practically the same. Maybe a few less features, data pre-processing and so on, but this is already detailed. The hardware version is essentially hardware plus a pre-installed Docker container. So in a nutshell, the basic functional properties, which machines, which devices can be connected, which interfaces are available for IT integration, it's essentially the same. The Windows application, let's say, has the most comprehensive feature set with a couple of additional features on top. Hope this clarifies it a bit. If not, we will be glad to follow up with you with more detailed discussion in a separate.
All right. And then I've got a question for Andre by Yajun. She's asking, in the Excel sheet you were showing, which kind of software maintenance contract are you talking about?
Yeah, there's a software maintenance contract. So the software is getting as a one-time purchase. So you can buy it and use it how long you want. And to maintenance the software and bring in the updates and some changes, we have a software maintenance contract for the software solution for the Bitmotec ecosystem.
Okay, perfect. And as for now, the final question I have in the chat is, when it comes to projects, what is Softing providing? What is Bitmotec providing? And what is done by the customer? Can you give a bit of an example? This goes out to both of you.
Yeah, Christopher, you can start first for the Softing part. And
we are a product company, so typically we sell the product. Yeah, we have a department with additional services. Of course, there is pre-sales consulting, there is after-sales support. In some cases, we can also provide installation support on site, but this is really an exception. So we want to make our products easy to use, and if really some additional services are provided, our first answer is we work with partners, for example, Bitmotec, who can do the integration work, the deployment, and everything that's needed. So normally we just sell the product license.
Yeah, and from our side, we do nearly everything up to 100%. So this for the end, the solution is already running. So we also make some integration parts for the Softing solution if it needed. For example, in the Sennheiser project, we connect with Softing for around about 2 hours, 3 hours, and makes integration for the Softing parts, makes integration for our software. The hardware integration came by Sennheiser by itself. And in a typical project, the customer will do something about 10 or 15% of the project. For example, something like hardware integration with own integration teams or with another integrator, but we can also do it. So it depends on the customer and what the customer wants to do. And after the ramp up phase, it is typically that the customer starts to build up own dashboards. Because we have the block building system, we have the templates, they have their visualizations for the stakeholder and start to make their savings. And then they start with, oh, I have other stakeholders and they want this on this view. And they need another view, a single point of view, one dashboard for them, where they see where they see all the data they need, and they start to configure it and modelize it. And on this point, it is typical that the customer, one time he makes a call and said, okay, I build it up. Can you have a look at it? Can you optimize it a little bit that it's run perfectly and everything is good? So it's typically in the later sections of a project that we help the customer with some dashboards which they already built up by themselves, and we optimize it a little bit, and so they can go further with the solution.
Okay, great. Sounds good. We'll be happy to answer to any inquiries that you have. We got a series of webinars throughout the year, which we'll post once we fix them, and we'll be happy to welcome you back into one of our future webinars. For now, I say thank you to everyone. Also, thank you, Andre. Thank you, Christopher. Everybody have a good day and a good rest of the week.